then the threat for severe weather is over, and really not much in the way of any rain at all either. There may be a spotty shower or two, a possibility, as we get into the next couple of hours, but other than that, it's just cloudy sky tonight. There is another chance at some severe weather, and that comes up as we get into the day tomorrow. Same time frame, after 3 o'clock, and this one may last a little bit longer as we move toward the late afternoon and into the evening hours. Okay, the circulation, let's change modes here. With this, so we have a couple of warnings. One, the tornado warning. This is the one that we're on the air for. This is for 4:45. Right now, it looks like the circulation from this storm, where the tornado would be, will remain south of Iowa City, not impacting Iowa City when it comes to the tornado potential, which is this storm right here. Now, something different is this right here. That has the possibility of producing winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. The severe thunderstorm warning on that had winds of 60 miles an hour. So in excess of 60 miles an hour possibility with these storms right in here as they move. That does include Iowa City. That does include Swisher. That does include Cedar Rapids. Yes. I'll change the mode here so you can see, get a little closer, because then it'll pick that up. So there you go. Severe thunderstorm warning. And this severe thunderstorm warning, this is the line here. So Williamsburg is dealing with the thunderstorm right now with the strong wind. As it gets closer to the Amana colonies, it does include Solon as well as the Cedar Rapids area. So you are under a severe thunderstorm warning in Cedar Rapids. That warning is on the tail end of this, so this will be closer to 5 o'clock. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 5 o'clock, including Cedar Rapids, Coralville, and Iowa City. That would be far southeastern Benton County. It will include most of Iowa County and most of Johnson County. That is associated with the storm. And notice the storm here, how it bows on out right in there, right in this vicinity, right in here, roughly in, right in this vicinity. Let's clear it out altogether. Let's try that one more time. Where it bows out right in here, right in this vicinity, that's where you're going to get your strongest of winds. You're going to see wind in excess of 60, maybe 70 miles an hour, while maybe a bit farther to the south there, the wind may not be as strong. But it's this area, right in that region, right where it sort of bows on out in advance, that is where the strongest of the wind will be. There's a lot of lightning with this storm back here. Southwest of Benton there, west of Marengo. There's Marengo. So there's the storm there, north of Montezuma. That, if we time-lapse that, that one is moving northeast. So that's heading into Benton County there. And you can see that does not have a warning on it, but it has a lot of lightning near Belle Plaine, heading just to the west of Blairstown and over towards Vinton. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the wind is the concern on this near Williamsburg, which is now right in the heart of this storm. Behind it, the weather is improving a bit. And then the warning here that we have is in Johnson County. So the circulation is going to be right. Reposition this a little bit. Your tornado is going to be right there. That's going to be your circulation. South of Kelowna and moving northeast towards Riverside. And if we take a track on that with that line, or that location in that particular spot, take it beyond it. Kelowna, 412, so about 5 more minutes. Riverside, 419. Hills, 427. Lone Tree, looking at 431. And Downey, which is outside of the warned area, Lone Tree and Downey. That just give you an idea of the storm potential there. Timing, that'll be at 442. So that'll be the time frame there. So if you're in this area, we haven't had any reports of a tornado at this point, but there is some circulation in there and the environment is favorable for a tornado. So good news on that account. Let's see if I can pull up some of the spotters again, or storm chasers here. I'll load up my source behind the scenes here. The radar showing the warning. We'll put a loop on that. And the loop on that continues to show movement on toward the north and east. Tornado watch until 8 o'clock. The Highway 20 south. Tama County, yes, officially, but the storms are to your east, so the threat for severe weather is diminishing. Here's the time lapse on that. Yes, you have the storms there, and that is moving toward the northeast. I'm going to take a sip here, so hold on a second. Need some water. All right, got some water. Elizabeth, thank you for the water as well. The storms, they're moving northeast. Threat for severe weather, not a concern up here. To the north, nothing up here. This is all just rain. There may be some isolated thunderstorms, but nothing severe expected. This is going to be more rain than anything else. The threat for severe weather is going to be south here. This area here, probably not so, because we're getting closer to that area along that boundary. Hold on a second as I read. An update on the severe thunderstorm warning. Probably, okay. So that will continue. I don't see the storm chasers in that area and not seeing anything as well. So again, that's good news, but the circulation is still within the storm. If I take the lightning off here, it does show a little bit of a circulation right in here. So there may be some inflow there. And if we switch over, that's where you have a possible tornado. So that would be the location, south of Kelowna. If you're in Kelowna, I'd be taking shelter now. Make sure you've got a report near Ottumwa a little bit earlier. Baseball-size hail, 2.75 inches. So that's some pretty large hail associated with that thunderstorm. And that's this thunderstorm right there. That also is producing the potential for a tornado. It has a history of producing up to baseball-size hail. The emergency manager near Kelowna is reporting a wall cloud south of Kelowna. So that's the circulation there. So that's exactly what we are looking for when it comes to severe weather, is the movement of the clouds. I'll change this right there. So the storm is located near Kelowna. So if you're in that vicinity, you need to be taking shelter. I'm also watching a storm chaser, also looking at that lowering of the clouds in that vicinity just south of Kelowna. So it is a concern right there, would be the possibility of a tornado right in this vicinity, right there. That would be your spot for a potential tornado. Nothing yet, but that is the lowering of the clouds that the storm chaser is on, and that's the location on the radar. Let me move this circulation around just a hair, because it's going to be right in that vicinity, just south of Kelowna, and it's moving northeast. So that would include Riverside as the possibility, getting in the way of that tornado. Okay, so we do have a camera in Riverside. I do want to just show this. I was told that it was just showing a cloudy sky. So this is Interstate 80. No. Oh, that one up there. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Okay, this is Riverside. Yep. Okay, so that's a still image of a camera near Riverside. And this is, oh, now they're overlapping here. That's where your circulation is going to be. And I've got a severe thunderstorm to the south. So now we have severe thunderstorm warnings north and south, and in between we have a tornado warning. So let's do this one. This is the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 5 o'clock. That storm is moving to the northeast. Damaging wind is the primary threat here. The concern is with this one, a tornado near Kelowna. Funnel clouds trying to come down. It's got a lowering of the cloud, but it has not produced anything yet south of Kelowna, and it's moving to the north and east. And then farther south, they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning, which does include the southern portions of Washington County. And this warning is associated with this thunderstorm line, the tail end of this, which is right here, and that's moving to the northeast. So it would be Fairfield at 421, Washington at 436, Stockholm Ridge County Park, that'll be at 441, and Crawfordsville at 452. So there's the tornado warning that remains in effect till 445. Circulation is going to be just southeast of Kelowna. Iowa City has temporarily suspended transportation service due to the storms approaching from the south and west. So just be advised, if you use the transportation system in Iowa City, it is suspended temporarily until these storms move through the area. And as soon as the storms move by, everything will be back up and running. But here's the storm, the tornado potential south of Kelowna. Watching another storm chaser camera, and they've also looking at the lowering of that cloud south of Kelowna, southwest of Riverside by a short distance. That is where your tornado is going to be, right in that vicinity. It is going to be just south of Kelowna. I do want to show you some of the reports, because some of them have been pretty substantial when it comes to storms. So what is this one up here? This appears to be a new one. This one up here has 64-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Parnell as that storm moved on through, and that's probably the reason why they issued that severe thunderstorm warning. Kyoto reporting a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust. Ollie at 1.25 inches of hail. How about that? Agency, 1.5 inches. 1.5, so walnut size. And then this one here, that is a Tumwa, 1.25 inch size hail. So this area, when it comes to the hail, right here, that's all associated with the same storm. The one that's got the tornado warning with it, heading northeastward towards Johnson County and northern portions of Washington. So Iowa City, let's see, you're probably going to see if there's the Pentecrest camera, because we may be able to see it really starting to get dark, or if not, when the Iowa City, University of Iowa Pentecrest camera, we can pull that one up. That one should give us at least some picture of there, because the storm is approaching Iowa City on the south side. At least the storm is, with the threat for severe weather. And the tornado would be between Riverside and Kelowna at this point. So probably somewhere in here. somewhere in there. That's not what I was on. Somewhere in that location would be the camera there. So it'd be somewhere in there is where your tornado is going to be right now. Tornado warning in effect till 4:45, so another 30 minutes. So now, 4:45, these storms, we still have, let's see, it's 20 after, so about another 25 more minutes. That's most likely going to move past starting to get reports of tornado on the ground near Kelowna, just south of Kelowna. So that's why it's changed to now, you'll see up here, it says observed. So now we're getting a couple of reports. Hail at Kelowna, golf ball size from Johnson County that are out there. Southwest of Riverside. So now this storm is producing, getting reports now of large hail with this. Golf ball size.
$16:30 KCJJ. That is good timing. Our TV just went out, but we do have a call from Corey Hartman. Hello, you're on the air.
All right, we're back about 4:20 here. We've got a tornado warning continuing, and we do have at least one spotter report of a tornado touchdown.
Yep, I just
that was south of the Kelowna area, but did not see that on any of our storm chaser streams. There was a pretty decent funnel cloud on Jordan Hall's stream, and he's right on the storm. But I did not see a touchdown. It may have had some ground circulation, but if you're in the Riverside area, need you to be in shelter at this time. That's the most likely area that we could see that tornado. We've got lots of chasers right there at 22 and Highway 218 intersection, just near the Riverside vicinity. That's where all the chasers are streaming from right now. And again, we saw a pretty decent funnel cloud a little bit ago. That has since dissipated somewhat. Again, did not see the touchdown on the stream, but a couple of storm chasers did report that just a few minutes ago.
So how fast would you say the storm is moving?
The storm is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So it's going to come up on Highway 218 here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then head on over toward the Lone Tree area. It should stay south, the tornado itself anyway, if it's still there, would stay south of Hills, but in the Hills area is where the heavy rain and the possible hail is going to be coming toward.
Okay. How concerned should I be?
Again, I think I think your concern is going to be hail in Hills and up toward the studios there. The tornadic activity is going to be basically right along Highway 22, maybe just a little bit north of Highway 22 over the next 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, it's
again, I'll be in the I'll be in the area here in about 20 minutes near West Liberty-ish, and that's where I'm going to watch it from, and we'll give you a report here again as things change.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, we'll hear from you in a bit. Okay, well, since our TV went out, I'm just going to go to weather radio for a little bit, and you'll hear my raspy, husky voice here in just a little bit. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ, your official weather station.
At 4:16 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located over Kelowna, or 12 miles north of Washington, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Expected hazards included a damaging tornado and half-dollar size hail. A tornado has been confirmed by trained weather spotters. at 4:15 p.m., multiple reports from trained spotters of a tornado south of Kelowna. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This tornado will be near Iowa City, Riverside, Hills, River Junction, Sharon Center, Hills Access, and Johnson County Fairgrounds around 4:20 p.m. Lone Tree around 4:25 p.m. To repeat, a tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. If a tornado or other severe weather is spotted, report it to the National Weather Service or your local nearest law enforcement agency who will send your report. This act may save the lives of others in the path of dangerous weather. Repeating, a tornado warning remains in effect until 4:45 p.m. for the following counties in Iowa, Johnson, and Washington. You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXL61 in Cedar Rapids. The current time is 4:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The following is a summary of watches, warnings, and advisories in effect. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5 p.m. for the following counties in Iowa, Benton, Iowa, Johnson, Keokuk, Lynn, and Washington. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 5:15 p.m. for the following counties in Iowa, Keokuk, and Washington. A tornado warning remains in effect until 4:45 p.m. for the following counties in Iowa, Johnson, and Washington. Tornado watch number 89 remains in effect until 8 p.m. for the following counties in Iowa, Benton, Cedar, Delaware, Iowa, Johnson, Jones, Keokuk, Lynn, Tacoma, and Washington. The National Weather Service in the Quad Cities has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Henry.
1630 KCJJ. We are now being joined by Mace Michaels. Hello. You're there.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi.
Well, I have a couple new tornado reports just to add to what Corey was talking about, and I've got one picture as well. They are wrapping up one. It's close to Riverside, or at least it was about 5 minutes ago, near the intersection of G36 and Riverside Road. So there was reports of a tornado on the ground near the intersection of G36 and Riverside Road. Did have one picture from a spotter, Jesse Risley. He put that in chat. Looks like that's at least a very ragged cloud with a funnel cloud on it. And let's see, it does not appear. It looks like the circulation is about a quarter mile south of Riverside, according to one of the spotters out there. So with that tornado warning, of course, that continues until 4:45 for southern Johnson and northern Washington counties. Earlier on, a tornado possibly on radar near Kelowna. We've also had reports of 50-mile-an-hour gusts back in the Washington and Washington County areas back near Keota when the storm passed through there now. So just north of Riverside, there's a broad circulation. Radar really isn't showing anything on the ground immediately, but there was a little bit of a debris signature that may have tried, at least if you follow it. Tough to tell from Wellman to just north of Kelowna and now north of Riverside and west of Hills. It will pass probably south of where you are, Molly, but you will get quite a bit of rain and maybe some hail. Again, passing just close to Hills or just north of Hills and south of you. So again, the tornado warning remains in effect until 4:45 for southern Johnson and northern Washington counties. Surrounding that, it's a severe thunderstorm warning on the north side until 5 o'clock, northeastern Keokuk, the rest of Johnson County, southeastern Benton, northwestern Washington, southwestern Lynn, and eastern Iowa counties. That, again, is out until 5 o'clock with the potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds and maybe some hail up to quarter size. Back in the Parnell area, when the line of storms passed through there, it did produce a 64-mile-an-hour wind gust. And there is one other warning just down to the south. This is just on the edge of the listening area, 515 Jefferson, southern Washington, southeastern Keokuk, Louisa, and Henry counties. Again, that's till 515 for the southern end of the line. That could produce wind gusts to near 60 miles an hour. I believe Corey had called in earlier, as you'd mentioned, Molly, and one of his spotters is on the storm as well. I'll have to check in there with him, too. So maybe I'll clear the line out. Corey will call back in. He's probably listening. I know he wasn't far away.
Yeah. He said he was about a half hour out, like probably half hour ago. Oh, my phone.
Oh, sounds like a new warning.
Yeah, my phone is like... Okay, yeah, tornado warning until 5:15 is what my phone is saying.
See if I can...
actually.
Yep. They've issued a new tornado warning until 5:15 for southern Cedar, southeastern Johnston, and northwestern Muscatine counties for a confirmed tornado near Hills Access, 9 miles south of Iowa City, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour.
Oh.
So that's, the cell we're talking about right now. It's the same cell. They're just extending the warning.
Okay. And do you think I'm still okay here, or should I get to shelter?
Your call. If you feel better in shelter, you go right ahead. I think the circulation will be south of you. I'm looking at a couple of chasers.
We're getting some hail now.
Yeah, you would be on the hail side of this. What size?
Oh, I can't really tell, but it's coming down. It's like, I want to say quarter, maybe a little bigger. Maybe a little bigger.
That makes sense. Kelowna just a little bit ago had some golf balls, and that core is headed to you. So
this is insane to look at. I have the stream up if anyone wants to go look. Oh my gosh, can you hear that?
Yep. And if you're going to get that size, you are in the hail core, which is on the north side of where the tornado is located.
Oh, we're now getting like baseball size. It's huge. It's huge.
All right, well, I'm going to let you, if you feel you need to go to shelter, fine. If you let me know. Otherwise, you've got the more interesting things to talk about right now than me.
Well, yeah, so baseball-size hail, and it's it's just coming off the building, the satellite dishes. It's very, very windy. It's raining.
How far? You are like on the edge of Iowa City, right?
Yes.
Where the station
is.
Yeah,
we're by the soccer parks.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No, I know. I was going to let the weather service know.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else really to say other than there's a lot of rain, a lot of hail, a lot of wind. The satellite dishes are shaking, kind of like they did for the Durate show. That was crazy.
Hold on, let me look here.
Yeah.
I think, looking at radar, I think the tornado is on the ground. It's just going to be south of you, Molly.
Wow.
The latest couple of scans coming in off radar have, it's called correlation coefficient, CC, and it usually is a great indicator of debris being lofted in the air.
Okay.
So and that has come up on the last couple of scans. It's going to pass 218 very soon, but it's not going to be far from you. Are you still getting hail?
It's slowing down, and the wind has died down as well.
I'm a little concerned with what's southwest of you.
Okay. Do you want me to go take shelter now?
Yeah, you might want to take shelter. I'll stick on the air. I know Corey's chasing. Corey, if you're listening, send me, any messages in chat.
Okay, I'm going to go take shelter
Corey
now.
says he can. Yep, Corey says he can see the funnel cloud halfway to the ground. If we could get him on the air when we'll get him on the air when Molly comes back. So once again, we have a tornado warning. Looks like the tornado's still pretty close to where the station is, just southwest of there. I'm hoping, at least with the current vector it's on, it will pass just south of where the station is located. But from what I'm seeing, let me see here, it's just south of Highway 1 and west of 218. And now it's getting pretty close to where the station is. The latest scan has it moving very close up along Highway 1 or close to there. Feel free to keep it here in Facebook chat, Corey. That's fine. Corey's out chasing right now. Pea-size hail reported on the southwest side of Iowa City, but again, we've had larger size hail than that falling here at the KCJJ studios. Corey's just west of Tipton, and he's moving south. so he's kind of back in on behind it. But right now, what I'm seeing on radar with the potential of debris being lofted is pretty close to the southwest end of Iowa City there. Very close to, again, where the station is located and just south of the airport. It's pretty much right on 218 right now. So if you are in the Iowa City area, specifically the south end of Iowa City, I would head to shelter right now because, again, with what it's showing on radar with the potential of debris being lofted and where that system is, anywhere from the south end of Iowa City down the hills, that rotation is showing up, and there's a pretty good hook showing up on radar, again, from near hills to the station to just south of Iowa City. Now, again, that whole area is obviously not a tornado, but there will be an embedded circulation in there, and it's kind of moving itself around. So, again, along 218 and eastward from the south end of Iowa City down the hills, definitely be in shelter at this time for the storm that's tracking off to the northeast, and it's moving at right around 40 miles an hour. Of course, we've had a history of very large hail falling with it here at the radio station on the south end of town here in Iowa City. I'll recap the warnings for you and give you an update on that. We have a tornado warning until 5:15 for southern Cedar, southeastern Johnson, and northwestern Muscatine County for, again, the tornado that's very close to hills and close to, again, where the station is and moving eastward. Getting a little word in chat that the tornado from Rebecca at Channel 2, that their chaser says it may have lifted up just a little while ago. Let me scan back. Yes, it does look like new scan just came in about 30 seconds ago while I was looking at the reports. And I would say the correlation coefficient, and again, what that does is give me a good idea of the potential where there could be some debris, has kind of crashed in the last few minutes. So I think that's a good sign, but again, very large hail, a potential still coming out of this storm, and with that large hail, still the potential of a tornado as well. Starting to see this move now past the south end of Iowa City and move eastward from there, so kind of on the east side of Iowa City. If you're close to West Branch and Downey, that's where you have to be concerned with this storm because it's still clipping along fairly good. I think it's past you, Molly, so if you can hear me, there's still storms coming at you, but the tornado potential is definitely less. It's moved east of where you are right now. So you can probably make your way back to the studio when you feel comfortable. But if you're on the southeast side of Iowa City and then anywhere towards West Branch and Downey, traveling along Highway 6, that's the area of the biggest concern right now. Corey says he's about 10 miles from the circulation. I'm going to hang up just for a second since I don't have any new reports, and if Corey has a chance to call in, he can, because he's going to be able to, give you a better eye of what's going on, and I'll call you right back the second I get something, Molly.
All right. Thank you so much for staying on air.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, not a problem. Glad we kept power. Glad you were safe.
Oh, yes. Me too. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Mace Michaels, everybody. He's going to call back. Hopefully we'll get a call from Corey, too. But yeah, I've gotten several reports of really large hail. When I get off the air here, I'm going to go and take a picture of the hail that we got. I'll put it on our socials. I know the Coral Ridge Mall is taking shelter, and Iowa City Transit has paused their service until the warning has been lifted. So while Mace or Corey gather information to call us back, our TV is back, and so I'm going to go to Channel 7. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ, your official weather station.
From that vantage point, but it's just raining right now from that point. Okay, I'll go back to the radar and see if we can find any other cameras along that spot, if you could, around Iowa City, because that is where it is pretty nasty, along Interstate 80. And it's along Interstate 80 between Iowa City and West Branch. That's where the intense storm is located. That is where we have the severe thunderstorm. That is where we also have the potential for some large hail, and the circulation when it comes to a tornado would be a bit farther to the south. It would be near Downey, heading towards West Branch, so just to the west of Downey by a little bit, and then southwest of West Branch, and it is heading to the northeast. So be advised of that. I'll put a track on that spot right there. The circulation, not sure what town is going to get in that area. Downey, 439, so any minute now. As mentioned, it is right there. Should be taking shelter, and in Rochester at 455. But that gets you close to the Quad Cities, or getting you closer to the Quad Cities, or into portions of eastern Iowa over towards Cedar County. So there's your 2 tornado warnings. That first one may need to be dropped off. That first one first one should probably, at least for the severe thunderstorm part of it, or the tornado part, because that one's until 4:45, so they're probably just going to let that one hang on until 4:45 as the storms move on through the area.
1630 KCJJ, we have Mace Michaels back on the air. Hello, Mace.
Hello. It looks like one of Corey's chasers for Severe Studios, Jordan Hall. He's just south of the storm. He's close to Lone Tree looking northward, and he just said it's back on the ground once again, a wavy funnel. Now, I just lost his stream but a few minutes ago, so that is between the road there that goes through Lone Tree and Highway 6. I need to get my updated map up here. Hold on just a second. So I can give you a closer location. And it also looks like there's a chaser that was reporting it, a funnel just to his west-northwest, same storm. So it looks like it, at least briefly here, has come back down on the ground. Let me get you a closer location from where that is. It's kind of between Highway 6 and the road that Lone Tree is on there.
Wow.
That's 22.
22. I was about to say Sioux Avenue, but that's a different direction.
Yeah, I would say it's close. It was close to 520th. I think that's what he's on. Okay. He's looking north from 520th. It's pretty close to Highway 6 now, but it does look like it's collapsing a little bit. Corey says there's definitely a funnel in there, skinny funnel about halfway to the ground. I'm gonna hang up so Corey can call in. He said he was just trying to call. So it looks like there's a funnel coming back down. It's close to Highway 6, north of 520, north of the Lone Tree area, and south or very close to Downey. Tornado warning continues. I'll hang up Molly and let Corey call.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Mace. Bye. All right, we'll be on for a little bit while we get Corey. I just want to maybe give a little bit of a clarification. I said baseball size. That's what it looked like outside the window. However, I just went outside and surveyed more of the things that were on the ground. It's more like $50 size. I mean, it's still pretty big, but it's not baseball size. I'm sorry for sensationalizing that. There are quite a few dings on my car. Not excited about that. Oh, Progressive is a good insurance. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Corey.
Hey.
Hey, I am just at the West Liberty exit on I-80, and definitely saw a funnel just a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. Have a great vantage point of the storm right here, just off of the interstate. Tons of emergency vehicles, storm chasers out here. No tornado on the ground that I can see at the moment. I think what keeps happening is it comes down, touches down for a little bit, goes right back up. So this is not a massive, by any stretch of the imagination. If the ground circulation is still there, it's not even connected to the cloud base where you can see it. The funnel comes and goes. Still a lot of rotation up under this thing, but as of right this second, not seeing anything touching the ground. But that does not mean that it couldn't come back down at any moment.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do tornadoes usually do that? They hop and kind of go back down? And
Yeah,
up
they
again?
can. They can definitely hop and skip that are moving at a pretty good speed. This early in the season, this far north, in Alabama, they can move at 60 miles an hour and have a gigantic wedge on it. But that's not what we've got going on here. These are now what appears to be ground circulation at the time. They get close to the ground, they kind of thicken up and do a little debris, dirt. Nothing's planted out here yet, so corn stalks and dust and dirt flying in the air from time to time, and then it lifts again. So right now, just very, very thin, very scuddy-looking funnels up underneath what is a pretty good circulation, a pretty good wall cloud out here. But again, as I look at the storm right...
Hello? Oh, no. I think we lost... Did we lose... Yeah, we lost him. All right, well... As he said, we're not... Oh, are you back?
Right along 80.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit there. Could you maybe repeat what you said the past like
Sure,
10
yeah.
10 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm using Starlink here, so there's a lot of other chasers out here probably doing the same thing. So, again, nothing on the ground, just some wispy little fingers that are dancing underneath this pretty big wall cloud here. And again, I am east of West Branch, so right along I-80 to the southwest of Tipton. And if you're in the Tipton area, that's where people need to be seeking shelter.
Okay.
So that's what I've got for you right now. I'm going to stay on this storm and continue to track it to the east and northeast. Again, nothing on the ground right now, but it could touch back down at any moment.
Yeah, because it's been doing that.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It's raining here now, but the hail has stopped, and it's not that windy. Or
you're getting the second. There's like a line kind of behind this leading storm, and that's what you're getting now. So it might be a little bit windy, but the tornado threat has passed Iowa City now.
Okay. Well,
all
thank
right,
you so
we'll
much.
let you know if it touches down again. You bet.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and we've lost TV, and however, I'm going to try to get it out of our production studio. So I'm going to let Weather Radio babysit you for a second. Oh, or maybe not. Or maybe not. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Mace. Just giving you a location there from what Corey was talking about. The emergency management folks on the Muscatine-Johnson County line there on Highway 6 said they had a funnel with some debris. So it was briefly touching down, like Corey was saying. It went down and has come back up. So that shows you how quickly it's moved from, when you and I started talking to when you went to shelter to, now. It's all the way actually moving on into Muscatine County. So from, 5 minutes ago, they had a brief funnel on the ground, and it has gone back up. Let me see. They updated. It was a deputy report from just a little bit ago. So Muscatine County Emergency Management reporting a brief tornado touchdown or, funnel cloud, and they saw some debris from what they could see, and that was a deputy out there. They continue to, of course, follow where that storm is. It's looking a little more ragged on radar. It's east of Downey and north of West Branch and northwest of West Liberty, pretty close to the interstate right now. So it's, again, moving east of West Branch, east of Downey and northwest of West Liberty, between I-80 and Highway 6. Of course, we'll let you know if we get any further reports. But again, for Iowa City, the tornado threat, as Corey mentioned, has really diminished, and hopefully not too many folks saw hail, but it was out there, unfortunately, as you know.
Yeah, my car got a few dings, so.
Yeah, sure.
And I put a picture of the hail on the Instagram before this new.
And I let the Weather Service know that you had at least, golf ballish size, so that's what they were.
Yeah.
They were thinking. And Corey's he's got a pic of it he just sent me. It's a pretty ragged wall cloud, and you can get a brief touchdown in that. So obviously head to shelter if you're in that area, north of West Liberty and east of West Branch and east of Downey. If we get more reports, I'll let you know.
All right. Let me know. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yep. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Unless we get a call from Corey or Mace, I'm going to work on getting KWWL back. Let's do weather radio. In the meantime, you're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ, your official weather station.
The tornadic thunderstorm which prompted the warning has moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 8 p.m. for east central Iowa. A tornado warning remains in effect until 5:15 p.m. for southern Cedar and northwestern Muscatine counties. At 4:45 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located near Springdale, or near West Branch, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Expected hazards included a damaging tornado and quarter-size hail. A tornado has been confirmed by trained weather spotters. At 4:45 p.m., trained weather spotters reported a tornado approximately 4 miles northwest of West Liberty. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Tipton, Wilton, Atalissa, Rochester, Cedar Valley, Moscow, Cedar Valley Park, Tipton Matthews Airport, and Durant. This includes Interstate 80 in Iowa between mile markers 254 and 275. To repeat, a tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. The storm has a history of producing tornadoes. Seek shelter now. Repeating, a tornado warning remains in effect until 5:15 p.m. for the following county: Cedar, Iowa. The severe thunderstorm warning for northern Henry, southeastern Keokuk, and Jefferson counties is canceled. The severe thunderstorm which prompted the warning has moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 8 p.m. for southeastern and east central Iowa. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5:15 p.m. for northwestern Louisa and southeastern Washington counties. At 4:45 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Mar Park, or near Washington, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles an hour wind gusts. The following impacts are expected. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Columbus Junction, Ainsworth, Crawfordsville, Cotter, Haskins, Gladwin, Mar Park, Columbus City, Fredonia, and Louisa County Fairgrounds. A tornado watch remains in effect until 8 p.m. for southeastern and east central Iowa. A tornado watch remains in effect for the warned area. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms.
1630 KCJJ, we got maybe Gulf-size hail here in southeast Johnson County, just north of Hills. And we did get signal back, so we're going to go back to KWWL. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ, your official weather station.
Damage potential, I'm sure. Golf ball, that's going to do pretty good damage to sidings, maybe roof, cars. Not a good situation there. 64 mile an hour wind gust in Parnell. That was the initial severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for that location. Now the storm is to the east. This tornado warning remains in effect until 5:15 for Cedar County and a small portion of northern Muscatine County, but most of Cedar County. So we'll be on the air at least till 5:15 or until the storm moves out of the area. We do have a report of a tornado 3 miles east of West Branch. Let's get in here a little tighter, take some lightning off. This is at 4:50 east of West Branch. I lost it. West of east, 3 miles east of West Branch, near Interstate 80. Sheriff County's office reported that. So that was the storm that we were just watching, and that is the storm now a little bit farther to the east. So at 4:50. Almost 3 minutes ago now, Cedar County Sheriff's Office, one of the deputies, reports a tornado just east of West Branch. And that would be, yep, that would be it, between West Branch and Rochester. So this is a confirmed tornado right here, just west of Rochester, southwest of Tipton, east of West Branch. The movement on that, this is confirmed from Cedar County, so it's moving northeast. So Tipton, maybe areas just south of Tipton, be on the lookout, take shelter now, and that is where the storm is heading. This report comes from the Cedar County Sheriff's Office. So one of the deputies there reporting a confirmed tornado. That is located in that area that I've got circled as it moves northeast. So that was the storm that was moving across Interstate 80. Maybe there was the tornado at that time, and that's why everybody just sort of shut down and they saw it crossing over Interstate 80 at that point. But that's where the storm is right now, and that is your circulation. That is your tornado. It is on the south side. Again, it sits pretty well right where it would be in the storm as well on the radar. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for southeastern Washington County right here. But the leading edge of that is where you're going to get your severe weather, so just about outside the coverage area. South, we're okay. That one storm, there's nothing new on these storms here. Let's see if there's lightning in there. Yep, there's got some lightning, but there's nothing new on these storms in here when it comes to severe. But that one storm, that one is been producing all kinds of nasty weather, heavy rain, strong winds, large hail. Hold on. Severe thunderstorm. No, okay. So the tornado warning now, the storm approaching Tipton. So in Tipton, okay. Sure, let's throw that up there. Interstate 80 near Wapsie or at Wapsie Avenue. Rain coming down pretty good still. There's some vehicles still pulled off the side of the road, even a semi there. On the right-hand side of the camera, or left-hand side of the camera there. You can see the semi, two vehicles, 1, 3, and everybody running a little slower. And you can see the cars that are driving, splashing up a fair amount of water. So ponding on the roads, watch out for some of the hydroplaning, not very good there, so be careful if you're going to be out and about this evening and you encounter some of these storms over the next hour or two in our eastern counties. But you can see, obviously, intense enough rain as these vehicles are deciding to hold off on traveling for the time being, as there is some very heavy rain. There may be some hail in that region, but at least it is a factor in the driving conditions. And so several folks have decided to hold off on that and wait for the storm to pass. And I wonder if is that the same location? Where is that one again? Okay, so because this severe tornado warning is for that one storm, near Tipton, it does have the potential for a tornado near the Tipton area, or just south of Tipton. The National Weather Service has now issued a severe thunderstorm warning, a much larger area to cover the rest of this line of storms. So I'll try and help draw it out since it may get lost in the coverage. So there's the warning here, there's the warning there, and there's the one other side up in here. Does it get up towards Maquoketa, and it comes back down in that area. So that is your severe thunderstorm warning. That is the new severe thunderstorm warning. Train spotter reporting rotating wall cloud near Rochester a couple of minutes ago. There in Cedar County. So that is confirms what we saw on the radar. With that storm now northeast of Tipton. A storm northeast of Tipton. This new severe thunderstorm warning that encompasses Jackson, parts of Jackson, Cedar County, looking at eastern Johnson County, southeastern Jones, as well as a few other counties that are outside our coverage area. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6 o'clock. So again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning. So large hail and some damaging wind, a possibility out of this. Up to a quarter-size inch hail, and we are looking at the possibility of winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. The storm that has been a thorn in everybody's side is now near Tipton, moving northeast, south of North Cedar, and moving northeast, and will be moving out of the tornado warning. So because that is the case, 5:15 is still confirmed, still a tornado warning in effect. We are now approaching the 5 o'clock hour, so what I'm going to do here at 5 o'clock, when it hits 5 o'clock, we'll sort of do a little reset because the tornado warning is in effect until 5:15, and that will be a point where people are just sort of tuning on in and going, I want to watch the news at 5, and that is not on, and I'll tell you why. All right, so Iowa City Transit has resumed service. So that is good news as the storms now move out of Iowa City. All right, it is 5 o'clock, and normally we have the KWWL news at 5, but we do not have the news at 5 for now. Right now, there is a tornado warning that is in effect until 5:15. We've had 5 tornado warning for a handful of counties across our southern viewing area, and it has produced up to golf ball size hail, as well as there have been confirmed tornado. Haven't seen any damage from the tornado or heard of it just yet. We'll see if that plays out in time. We've had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings along this line as it moves towards the east. And so with that, we do have a tornado watch that is in effect for the area. That tornado watch is in effect until 8 o'clock. Tama County has no longer, is no longer in that watch. They were earlier. As the threat for severe weather diminishes after the line of storms moves on through. So once that line moves on through, the threat for severe weather drops off. But until then, we still have the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms pushing on through the area. This watch is in effect till 8 o'clock, but I do not anticipate the tornado watch to be in effect for our coverage area for that long. This will be out of the area, the way it looks right now, by 6 o'clock. It will be at the Mississippi River, if not sooner. Within the half hour in our northern counties. In our southern areas, it will be outside of our coverage area, which does not go up against the Mississippi River there, and so that will be outside of the region. So our coverage area that we have, those counties, the threat for severe weather only is probably about another half hour to 45 minutes, definitely less than an hour. The storm is moving towards the east. Dubuque, you are officially in the tornado watch. That does include portions of southwestern Wisconsin, into Grant County, into southwest Wisconsin, over towards Platteville, and just near the Prairie du Chien, up to Prairie du Chien. Now, keep in mind, now that these storms roll through, the area behind this, they will drop off the tornado watch here pretty shortly, because the threat for severe weather is out here. This is the area for severe weather, and that's left with just a handful of counties, and they basically have covered that with the severe thunderstorm warning in our southern counties. As of this point, that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6 o'clock, with a possibility of a tornado along that line. The northern edge of this is rain and thunderstorms, some heavy rain, some gusty winds, maybe some small hail. And that continues to move east with that. And they're watching this cell. This is the tornado warning. This is the reason why we've been on the air the entire time since, I don't know, was it 3:30, I think it was, we went on the air? Pretty close to that. And that's this cell right here. This cell is now moving outside of the tornado warning, and they're right now assessing whether they're going to continue a tornado or issue a tornado warning inside of that severe thunderstorm warning, which is a much larger area. It does include Maquoketa, so you can see the severe thunderstorm warning. It may get lost in all of the stuff that's going on, but there's the warning, the one side of it. There's the other one as it goes up and northeast. So that's the warning there, and then the tail end of it, the end of it is there. So that is where your severe thunderstorm warning is. The question is whether they issue a tornado warning, because there's the storm, and there's your tornado warning. It is now about to leave the tornado warned area. And as it does so, I'll take a look inside here and see if there's still some reasoning, and not a whole lot there. Maybe, I don't think so. I don't know. So there's the storm, there's your lightning. It is northeast of Tipton, so the intense storm is up here. There's Tipton right here. But you still have this right in here, the storm pushing in. That also has a fair amount of lightning. So you're not done yet with the potential for some damaging wind or hail. You probably got about another 15 minutes to a half hour, and then you should be in the clear. Iowa City, you can see the storm is to your east. Basically, the rain is almost stopped in that area. Farther north, it's just rain. Throw some lightning on there, and you can see. So they are going to issue a tornado warning for Cedar, Clinton, and Scott County. So they will continue this tornado warning now until 5:30. So we will continue the coverage here as the storm moves east. So this will move outside of our coverage area here once we get to this point, because this is the Quad Cities coverage area. So we will continue it up to that point. Over into Jackson County, Maquoketa, that is farther to the east. Dubuque is at the top of your screen, and you can see there's nothing there. Anything when it comes to any moisture is off to the west, and this is all rain, and yes, there is some lightning with that, but not a whole lot of lightning. It's been mainly south down here where you're getting more lightning strikes. Hold on, I need another drink of water here. So that storm now moves away. Threat for severe weather diminishing across a good portion of the area. Still some rain back up into Buchanan County, even around Black Hawk County. LaPorte City, low rain. Parkersburg, Allison. We're still looking at some showers. Still lingering back here in New Hampton, Allison, or Hampton, Allison, and New Hampton. Hampton and New Hampton. Still dealing with some rain. It's also just a wet evening. It's cool. Temperature, man, it is cool. Let's see. We've got 38 degrees and rain in Decorah. That is not a very nice spring day. But you do need rain, because you got to get those flowers blooming. And we will get them when we get a little more sunshine. Let's see, we've got this tornado warning that still remains in effect. It's 66 now in Cedar Rapids, or in Dubuque. As the temperature warms and you get north to Prairie du Chien, it's only 42 degrees. It was in the 70s in Iowa City. It's now 59 degrees, now that the front has passed on by. Temperatures are changing all over the place as that low now moves across eastern Iowa. Let me see if I can pull the imagery up here and I can find out where that center is, because that will be also very helpful for me. And that is that center of circulation. So we're looking for the area of low pressure. And that area of low pressure right now, we're going to back up here. Yep, sounds good. Let's see. The low pressure center is located right here. So there's your low. It went from Des Moines, now moving roughly over Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. On the leading edge of that, that's where you got your severe weather, or your thunderstorms right in there. And that's where the potential for some severe weather is. When it comes to the watch, there's your watch, and eventually that area will start to get trimmed back because the storms are now to the east. So anything from this point forward, that has the potential for some severe weather. But you get to Highway 20 right here, and I do think even south of that, probably, maybe south of Highway 20, not by much, but south of Highway 20, the threat for severe weather is over. You're going to get some rains and thunderstorms here in Dubuque, but the threat for severe weather, I think, is going to be minimal at this point. Maybe 40, 50 mile an hour winds. There will be some lightning with that. Tornado warning remains in effect south here, not that one. And the other one, this tornado warning sits here for Cedar County. And that tornado warning is in effect until 5:30, but that storm is right on our county line that is moving outside of our coverage area. That is moving into Clinton County, where Charlotte is. And that will be south of Oxford Junction, Massillon, and Calamus. So it's going to be between Oxford Junction and Calamus. We're also looking at another cell right here and another cell to the south. Here's Downey, here's Iowa City off to the left, Solon, just to give you some perspective of where these storms are. In the bigger picture here, all with the severe thunderstorm warnings, all in advance of that. Everything to the left or to the west is going to be non-severe, and it's going to be rain, maybe an isolated thunderstorm here this evening, early evening. It's probably more late afternoon than evening at this point. Farther north, this is just rain as we continue to monitor what's going on around the rest of the area. Don't want to leave everybody out. Make sure we got everything covered here. Guttenberg down to Delaware County. Get into Jones County. We've got some thunderstorms now starting to approach Dubuque County, which has been waiting all day for rain and thunderstorms. Here it comes, rain moving into the picture, but the good news is hopefully there won't be any severe weather out of this line of storms as it moves through. But we'll see how this plays out, another hour, and we'll be over with when it comes to the storms. We said between 3 and 7, came in 3, it'll probably be out by 6. So we're off an hour on the tail end of that, but I think we'll be okay. I think you'll be all right knowing that the storms are out by 6 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. So the storm around the Toronto area, Massillon, over towards Loudon. You get the lightning off of there, probably getting in the way. And we'll look inside, see if there's anything. Back out a little bit. Not a whole lot at this point. But it's still intense cell right in here as well. This one is pretty intense as well. So Cedar County getting hit right now with all kinds of storms right now moving in through the area. Southward, south of Johnson County, so there's the county line right there. No longer in Johnson County. And then Washington, yes, you still have the warning, but there's your county line and just a few rain showers. So we're done with that. Washington, you're in the clear, even though this is just a matter of time for the National Weather Service. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and they have all these other thunderstorms off to the east as well. So they'll get to that. That'll be cleared on out. Same thing with this tornado warning here at 5:15. That one's going to expire in 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then we have this one lone tornado warning. That is until 5:30, but the storm is about to move outside of the area. So we'll wait for, I'll see what this does right here, because that's going to be outside of the coverage area. Once that part of the storm moves out, I think we can go back to programming, which right now would be our news at 5. I don't know how much time do you need or want. Do you want to take it back at 5:20, or just want me to take through 5:30 here and then send you to nightly news? Okay. Yep. Okay. We'll assess this here in time. As of right now, we'll stay through 5:30 and take you right up to nightly news, and then we'll come back for the news at 6 at this point. Unless the storm sort of giddy-ups and get out of here a little bit faster, then we'll start and just give you a couple of headlines of the news, because we already know what the weather is, which, by the way, is going to be a bit wet. Another stormy day coming up since I have you here. This is tomorrow. We have another chance at some severe weather tomorrow. Threat for tornadoes will be south of Iowa City, so the threat not too bad. The bigger concern would be hail. This is for tomorrow afternoon, after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, probably maybe even after 4 o'clock. Hail would be the bigger concern, and some wind possibility with some of these storms. And then the outlook area, if you put that all together, it's still a level 3 out of 5, but that level 3 is in our far southern counties. So really level 2 out of 5, risk of severe weather. Nothing here on Saturday, and tonight obviously you see what's going on there. Since I have your attention here as part of the coverage, we'll also show you a 7-day forecast. 50s all the way through, and once we get through tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday look dry. Same thing Monday and Tuesday with some isolated showers as we head into Wednesday. So that is your quick little abbreviated weather segment there. As for the storms that we're watching here, there's still that tornado warning that's right on our coverage area, barely on the vicinity of our, there's the update, and that pushes it outside of the region. Let me see what this one does here. That doesn't show a whole lot there, or this finish. So what I was trying to figure out is, because this one seemed a little bit more potent, this one here, and that's still in our coverage area, and that's still also in the tornado warning. That warning was issued because of this storm right here that is now outside of the coverage area, because there's our county line. It is outside of our coverage area, moving off towards the east. So this will be the only concern now for us, would be this storm west of Sunbury and southwest of Bennett Park. And that is in Cedar County. And that will continue to move eastward. Take the lightning off this, and we'll put a time lapse on this to see the movement, what the direction is going. And you can see the last couple of images there. It has intensified just a little bit. So between Tipton and Rochester, you can see that right there, between Tipton and Rochester. And then we take it out a little bit closer. Again, intensifying a little bit right in that vicinity. And then a bit farther, again, this could be producing some pretty large hail. I wouldn't be surprised, at least an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. And then the last update does put it right at the county line. Again, we're getting close to the county line for our coverage area is right here. So that's the county line. So it's just to the west of our county line here into Cedar County. I think we'll stay with this. I think we'll stay till 5:30, just to keep that storm in mind, and then to the south. And then there's a couple of storms up here. As it moves through, we'll zoom in here. There's nothing, I can't see any, talking myself out loud here as well. In my head, what we want to do here with the storm, it's Cedar County, east of Tipton. Wilton High School down there is pretty intense. Let's see, there's another tornado. Okay, that's a little farther south. There's nothing up here when it comes to severe weather. This is a severe thunderstorm. And then this tornado warning, which is outside of our coverage area. Luke, are you ready to do a little bit of news in a very abbreviated portion, as well as the Okay. I think Luke is ready. Directors are ready downstairs.
1630 KCJJ. So it looks like KWWL is going to news and just resuming their regular programming now that the severe weather has gone out of their coverage area. However, we are still going to help out the people in Scott County and Cedar County, and with the help of KWQC in the Quad Cities. So we're going to stay on the air until this all goes into Illinois. So let's go to KWQC right now. You're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Forward speed. So that does show that, yeah, we are picking up that speed a little bit here. Here are some times of arrivals for you folks in Floyd. 5:24. We get to Galesburg about 5:35. So about 15 minutes, Galesburg. You don't have a ton of time. And then Knoxville 5:38. Watauga about 5:45. This circulation will be moving into town.
Okay, yeah, look at this hail that we've got around approaching Joslin, going right up Interstate 88. We were talking about this right over Kelowna not too long ago, and this thing is just, I mean, it's gotten pretty impressive pretty fast. So let's zoom in. And again, what's going to happen here is that even though we're going to mention some street names, this is probably already perhaps up to Hillsdale. So I'm going to kind of backtrack here and move toward Hillsdale, right up Interstate 88, which is right here. You can see the top of that hail core. And as far as getting a little bit of a measurement on just how big that hail is, let me zoom out so I can do that. But it seemed to really just grow fast. And you can see those dark blues there. So as we take a question mark and try and find out just how tall this or how large this hail is, might take a second or two to come up. But there's our spot where we're kind of checking out. And nothing quite yet. Let's see, it's come up. There we go. It's starting to fill in. So our next thing should be the hail on that sign and $half size hail. And this is moving right up Interstate 88, which is right here. Here's Joslin. Here's Hillsdale. From Hillsdale, of course, we go up a little bit farther, and we're going to be getting up toward Prophetstown and Erie. But if you're along Chase Road through Hillsdale, probably already over Hillsdale now, as fast as these are moving between radar sweeps, these things are probably moving, 5, 10 miles, maybe 10 miles, and maybe not that much, but at least about 2.5 to 5 miles. So if you're in Hillsdale, up toward Erie and Prophetstown. There's Springdale or Spring Hill. Yes, okay. That's where you want to be taking shelter, because not only are you going to see first this heavy rain, I mean, it goes from just light rain to very heavy rain in no time at all, and then we start getting the lightning and the hail. And just to give you a little idea again of where this is, I don't want to get too myopic here as we move back out. There you see it. There's LeClaire, there's Joslyn, there's that hail core right up Interstate 88, right up the Rock River, and this is going to be moving to the northeast, maybe east-northeast, right toward the center of our warning box here. So again, if you're in the path of this, you want to take shelter. Moving out, once again, we will take a look at how these storms have been working their way through and around the metro. It's this line coming in from the south, which does include that new tornado warning that is a little bit farther south. That's Warren County and Knox County. Again, we'll zoom in here and we'll show you what's going on with these storms. That tornado warning split between two Weather Service offices. For some reason, my zoom is not always coming up short here, but that's all right. We'll take a look at this storm as we work our way this way. There we go. Back west of Galesburg, and there you see that hail core weakening a little bit. Boy, the thing about hail cores is they cycle. Always see them do this. You'll see light to dark blues, then it'll go gray again, and then the white starts coming back up to light blue to dark blue. So north of Berwick, south of Monmouth, following that tornado warning. And as far as any rotation is concerned, again, what we were seeing earlier was enough rotation to give us a little bit of concern, and we're still like right over Berwick. So if you're in Berwick, you need to be taking shelter. You move a little west, or east, I should say, west of Abingdon. Here's Galesburg and 41 south of Galesburg. These areas, even into Knox County, now you should be taking shelter because this rotation is heading your way probably at about 50 plus miles per hour, so you won't have a lot of time to react when it gets in your neighborhood. And that's the story about today. Have that severe weather plan ready to go. Act on it quickly because these storms are moving fast. Kyle?
Okay, we've got reports from a viewer who's out, they say just outside of Galesburg, and they're seeing a funnel cloud. So we're gonna look into that and get that validated here. I want to go back up here to Cedar County real quick here, and just got some times of arrivals for you folks up in Cedar County, Jackson County, Clinton County as well. And right now, here we go. We've got just northwest of Calamus here, and excuse me, this is now exclusively in Clinton County. Northwest of Calamus, we've got that area of circulation. It's pretty prominent right over Highway 30, and that's going to continue off to the northeast. I did a broad path on this because we do have a couple areas that we're watching, and we do also have some damaging winds to be concerned with. But Delmer, about 534, Charlotte, 542. That tornado warning ends about to Route 61. But I would assume, based off of what we're seeing here on radar, we continue with a circulation right near Calamus, and that's going to continue off to the northeast here. So we're going to continue with that tornado warning most likely, and so we'll look into that. And I also want to mention here too, folks, we've got reports from Cedar County that there has been damage. Also Muscatine County, that there has been some structural damage. We're working to confirm that. We've talked to dispatchers. They've confirmed that. That's information that we are working to get crews out on, but our crews, obviously, we want them to be safe, and it is not safe yet to send our crews out. So stay with us here. We're going to get those reports on where that damage was, but Muscatine and Cedar County is reporting damage at this time. Here's Calamus. It's about right over top of Calamus right now, right over Highway 30 is that circulation. Here's 160th Avenue, 200th Avenue, just some streets that folks would know. Grand Mound out here. This is going to be to your north. Look how fast that moved up to the north there. So it is trucking now. It is moving very quickly towards Welton. About out of this warning, but maybe weakened just a touch there. But nonetheless, we continue with that circulation. I would say right now, yeah, just in that area there. Here's Charlotte. Here's Welton. Moving off to the northeast. We'll need a new warning most likely for that here momentarily. But I've also, Eric, been watching this here as we've had some reports from viewers. A couple viewers called and said that they saw some circulation near Kelowna. That was when this was down towards Kelowna. Right. It is very broad and has remained that way, so that is good. But it is something that we are going to watch. I want to go back to this area we were watching that was moving into Muscatine County. Again, we had that viewer report here. We've got a little bit of muddled data. I'm not sure what is going on exactly, but there is something the radar has been picking up, and it almost will fool you that we've got something significant there. But at the same time, we do have some broad rotation possibly with that. We continue with that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. That's for Cedar, Clinton, Jackson, Scott counties. The hail size has upped a little bit here. We're now up to 1 1/4 inch. So getting up to $half sized hail there. So watching that. But Joslyn, oh boy, that hail core is strengthening. And right over top of Joslyn, you're probably seeing now ping pong to golf ball sized hail there in Joslyn, Illinois. Heading up here, might be following the, almost skirting the I-88 corridor there as it heads up into Whiteside County.
Yeah, let's take a look at that hail. We'll come back to this map here. I believe we're ready to put up a live feed that we've got from out in the field, so do that at any time as soon as you can get that up. What I'm going to do, though, here is just go right into the hail that we have. We'll zoom into that hail that's right near Joslyn and get an idea of just how big that is as we take a look close up right on top of Joslyn. It looks like it might have even come down just a bit from last time, but there you see this is, where was this out of? Kelowna. Okay, this is out of Kelowna, so a lot of heavy rain. And again, it's really tough if there's anything circulating as far as cloud bases or tornadoes to see anything when the rain is this heavy, but that's Mike Ortiz around Kelowna. Now, as we get back to this hail core around Joslyn, up there it moved, so let's try this again. On the outskirts, pea-size hail, but there you see in the core, quarter-size hail now, but what I was trying to hit was that purple, so it's come down in intensity. We're at quarter-size now, and as we come out a little bit, what I'm going to do is get to that other storm that we have a little bit farther to the north and west into eastern Iowa, because I believe we can take a look at where that hail is at this point. Another little hail core just due south of the Quad Cities. But here we go. This is going to be crossing Highway 61 shortly. It's north of Highway 30, approaching Highway 61 in, say, west central Clinton County. And as we take a look at this hail, again, this is probably going to come up around quarter size, $half size. There you go. $half size with this hail, and this one is running right toward the folks who live along Highway 61. And as we show you who's in the path of this one, there you go. There's Welton in the path, right down 190th Street. So as this was moving a little bit to the north of due east, this will probably skirt the Welton area, then head on to Charlotte. You can see Charlotte back there in the to the far right on your screen. Oh, wow. So you can get this one back here. There you go.
Hey,
yeah, there you go, Charlotte and Goose Lake and down 136 there. You have some new info.
I'm going to get something over to our Teams channel here.
Okay.
And so we can get this. This is a link to a rail cam in Galesburg right now, and we can see a lowering on this. There is a wall cloud with this, and I've got visual of it. We got a new warning that sounds like it just came through.
Tornado warning, yep.
A new tornado warning. So let's see. We'll get where that's at here momentarily, and then so I just put that in, guys. If you can go ahead and let us know when that's ready. So new tornado warning up here. We just talked about this. Okay, it's up. Let's take it. I want to show this. This is Galesburg, and then we'll get back to the new tornado warning. And there you can see, Eric, you can see that is the area. It is a wall cloud. And what we've got is that's the area that we're watching heading into Galesburg. It's going to head right into the city of Galesburg. But there is a lowering. It's not. I don't see any funnels. There was a report of maybe a funnel cloud, but it looks like a broad rotation. But there is certainly a funnel cloud that a wall cloud that we are watching, and an area of circulation heading right into town. So
it looks like it's right now going to be crossing over the southern portion of the BNSF yard there.
Left side of the screen there. That might be some area that we have to watch.
Really hard to tell.
It is, and I wish we can move that camera too. But if you're in Galesburg, take your tornado precautions right now if you haven't done so already. Back out here, and I want to take a look at that new warning. It is in place for those areas that we were just tracking and just talking to you about here into Clinton, Carroll, Jackson County. So now we're crossing into Illinois with some of these tornado warnings. Charlotte, Welton. It is very close to Welton. That circulation continues off to the northeast. This is also a very favored environment, so we continue to be concerned about that. So we're going to watch that closely here. Charlotte, Andover, up towards just getting into Savannah. Also, Preston, Iowa. We're now into Jackson County. We're going to be watching that. But Welton, Charlotte, Andover, up to Savannah, that's the area I would be most concerned with. But as far south as DeWitt, in the Highway 30 corridor, you are under that tornado warning. Take shelter now. But again, the most significant portion of this is now crossing getting close to the Route 61 corridor, Welton specifically and Charlotte, take your immediate tornado precautions if you haven't done so already. One thing I was also looking at too, Eric, is we do have some other storms that we are watching very closely just north of Clinton, and broad rotation with those, but nothing as concerning as what we've got where we have that tornado warning. So that is the latest right now. We continue to watch these storms here in Henry County, Illinois as well. Hail is the primary threat right now. We'll continue to watch those for circulation, and of course that tornado warned storm in Knox County and Warren County.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one right now because I do want to do a track on that. You can see right now that we've got not only the hail core, but what we were seeing there on the rail cam, that southern portion of the BNSF yard kind of going out of visibility now because the rain is so heavy. But with this storm, we can do a little ETA box here. We'll get back to the kind of midway between the hail core and the leading edge. So at about 50 miles per hour, Knoxville 536, really right on Galesburg now. So if you're in Galesburg, take your shelter. Millbrook to Toulon, 558 to 607 as we get this one into Stark County. And if this holds together, well, it will be part of this, let's say, wall of storms that extends to the north of I-88. This will make its way through Stark County and through Princeton County eventually. We're looking at this one. I'm sorry, Bureau County, thank you. And this one will, of course, cross eastern portions of Henry County. Actually, right now, it looks like it's coming into Geneseo, so we'll take a look at what that one's going to do here as we pan north and get to Geneseo. As I get all this off the screen for you and make it a little bit clearer. For some reason, I don't know if I'm locked up or what, but now I can at least drop down a little bit, and there you go. So now we've got that hail core that we're still tracking, running its way up Interstate 88 for Henry County, Illinois, down I-80. The storm's probably right on Geneseo now, and this severe thunderstorm warning, which doesn't really include areas south of Geneseo, that line's probably right on Geneseo. But again, we've got that hail core there, and this is going to swing down Interstate 80, might just skip north of Anawan, that particular cell, but we've got some more development south of it, Cambridge to Woodhull, and that's what we're going to be watching move through interstate, move down the Interstate 80 corridor. So as we get back to radar here, we can just take a little look out and get back up a little bit farther north to where some of our other storms happen to be. I'll just drop down here, but there you see the progress that we're making through Whiteside County, right up 88, still have that hail core that's kind of hanging around the interstate. And again, our tornado warning now with that hail core right on top of Highway 61. Let's take a look at how things are shaping up here in terms of the rotation. And there seems to be a bit of a bullseye, right there. And again, that is, if we've got that tornado, we've got that right on top of 61 and just east of 61, probably very close to passing over Delmer right now. Let's get a little closer to that because I do want to check that out as we look at northern portions of Clinton County between DeWitt and Bacocata, and sure enough, there's Charlotte, there's Riggs, there's Delmer, so it's very close to Delmer, just a little bit south though. There you can see it's right along 250th Avenue. This is what you take right off of 61 when you're north of Welton to get into Delmer proper, so it's kind of right on top of Welton and moving a little bit toward the northeast, so that puts Charlotte in play. Boy, again, Charlotte, take shelter now. These are fast-moving storms, and again, if this is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in your backyard in just a few moments. From there, Goose Lake, miles to the north in southern Jackson County. There's Andover a little bit farther east in Clinton County, and as we take a look a little bit farther out, so we can, again, give you a bit more idea of where this actually is. There's our circulation right around Welton, and the National Weather Service polygon here is pretty much spot on as to where this is moving. They kind of like to get the line of movement right in between the outsides of these parallelograms, and that would put it up into northeastern Clinton County, might even hit southeastern portions of Jackson County, and then as it crosses the river, the Mississippi River, that's going to put it very close to Sebula, if not right on top of Sebula, and right around or just south of Savannah. And again, that's our tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect for these counties here, Clinton County, and of course parts of Jackson County and across the river into Carroll County. And as far as the time is concerned, this tornado warning goes until 6:15, and that's still a good 45 minutes for this storm to get across the Mississippi into portions of Carroll County, Illinois.
Okay, let's get. I want to look at a couple things here. First off, this is velocity. Same area we were watching. This is Walcott here, north. Here's the Quad Cities. We're looking to the west towards the Quad Cities. We've got broad circulation, but what I'm noticing here is some damaging winds. That's a threat too, and then I'll show you what my reaction was to here in just a moment. But right now we're seeing about 60 to maybe 70 mile an hour winds here. We're sampling there, but I'm going to go back over to Skyview, and you can see what we've got. What we've got here is we've got a shelf cloud that's going to be moving into town, and so, but within this shelf cloud, I'm noticing a few little areas of kind of a lowering, and specifically over in this area here. So I'm going to take a look at that. But look at this shelf cloud here as I pan the camera, looking off. This is more northwest Davenport right now, and you can see here that is a sign that we've got. Yeah, we're going to have some damaging winds in the metro here momentarily, but within this as well, again, there continues to be this threat for some tornadic activity. And anytime we see this, we've seen a lot of these types of setups here where we get into the metro and we get these shelf clouds. Once you start seeing it kind of get jagged like this, that's what we have to be concerned with, because that shelf cloud, that's the cool air coming out of a storm that's pushing up against that warmer, humid air. And usually it's just a flat cloud. Looks pretty ominous, but then we get some, once you start seeing these ragged and a little bit of a lowering here, we've got to watch that because there could be some circulations within this. Eric.
Yeah, we've got a new warning, and it's specifically about what you're talking about. Look at, again, this is the leading edge of that next line of storms. I'm going to tell you that we've got some extremely high numbers of wind up here, and I will get back to it as soon as I can. Give me a second here, and here, let's... 74 mile per hour winds along that stretch there that we're kind of looking at right here into areas just west of the Metro Quad Cities. And we're going to go in there again. Let me zoom in and clean this off, and I will go in because I do want to get really close because this is really important here as I zoom in and get you an idea of what's coming out of Muscatine County into Scott County. This new warning that went up here, let me not step on things as I go backwards. Let's see, what are we looking at here? All right, this is the storm-based winds, and right here, I'm going to, again, center it for you. But again, this is really concerning because here's the line. Muscatine County, this is Scott County, here's the Metro Quad Cities. And as we take a look at these winds, the last time I checked, they're up to about 74 miles per hour. Let's see if we can get this to register. Not that one there, but take my word for it, in that light blue, which is kind of a peak in the winds coming toward, see that light blue, you can see it, it's at the end of the scale of winds coming toward the radar site, clock those at 74 miles per hour, there you go, 73 miles per hour, and that's just hitting the line, the county line there, Scott County and Muscatine County. So as we go into areas just south of Walcott, we'll get you in here. Yeah, there we go. Boy, if you're in Walcott, you're going to get some pretty strong gusts. Ooh. Here's 70th Avenue here, 60th Avenue, which is essentially looking like the county line. There's East Memorial Road. So if you know Memorial Road, south of there, and probably now it's already past 70th Avenue. I want to make sure that we got that right. But this is that area of winds that are blowing in excess of 70 miles per hour, now running into western Scott County.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna try to brighten this up a little bit. So we're looking at Skyview here. Can we take Skyview full, or take Max 2 full, please? Because it's going to be better. The resolution on this, I could tell, we're kind of got some things going on. We need all the clarity we can get. Here is looking, this is looking due west from the station, where the station's on Brady Street in Davenport. And in this area that we're looking, there is a circulation. There is a coupling of the winds that we're watching. And it does look like there might be a lowering trying to develop there. And what we've got that shelf cloud. I've got this really brightened up, folks, so that's why it looks washed out. But behind there, you can see we've got that. We've got something that we have to watch very closely as this approaches the metro. It's very close to the Bluegrass area. If you're in Bluegrass, I go ahead and take your tornado precautions. oh gosh, okay, so we need to, we're going to continue to watch this. This is a threat for the metro. I want to get back up to that storm in Clinton County because we have a debris signature now being indicated near Charlotte. If you're in the Charlotte area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot immediately. You need to go right now. I'm going to hop back up here. We're on max 2. Okay, great. And let's take a look at that. Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh,
yep,
wow,
northwest of Charlotte. That is an active tornado, folks, so they've just changed it to an observed tornado. It might go just northwest of Charlotte, but this is a very dangerous and life-threatening situation. This, Eric, is the strongest circulation we have seen all afternoon long.
Yeah, and if we could let's do a debris on that while we're on this shot. To see if we can get a debris signature from there.
Yes.
That's just south of southeast of
there it is, right there.
Riggs. Yeah, there's where your tornado is along 110th Street, and this will be heading toward areas around and just south of Preston. So if you're in Preston, take shelter now. If you're in Miles, take shelter now. Anywhere along 64, probably even down to in the Dalton Pond area, that small fishing area, take your shelter now. This tornado continues to be a kind of an east-northeast mover. So again, it puts it right around Preston and Miles here. 547 for Preston, 552 for Miles. And again, this storm, as we were talking about, if it holds together by about 6 o'clock, it should be crossing the Mississippi River right around Sebula and just south of Savannah.
Yeah, very dangerous situation here. Let's get back into that because now that we have that debris signature, we can tell you exactly wow, look at that. What we see here is it is, I'm going to put this in motion, and you can see what happens. You can almost see exactly the moment that it dropped to the ground here. So just to the northwest of Charlotte. So for perspective, here's Charlotte right here. Here's the Charlotte's a small community, and it is just let's measure it. Let's see how far north it is. But this Charlotte proper right there, it's about 2 miles to the northwest of Charlotte at this time, or at least at this last radar scan. And folks, it is heading right towards Preston. If you're in Preston, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. It is getting ready to cross over into Jackson County. Anybody in southern Jackson County, shelter immediately. This is a very dangerous and life-threatening situation. It is, as of this scan, again, these are moving very fast, 110th Street, 100th Street. It's going to cross over to 100th Street. It is heading red line, center line for Preston. I cannot stress enough. Preston, Iowa, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now.
All right, and as we move to our other tornado warning back off to the south, you can see that storm right over Galesburg. We will track this out because, again, this is moving at about 50 miles per hour. And now a new updated tornado warning here that you just saw come on the screen. And this is going to be, as we move out, about 50 miles per hour. You can see that in terms of Knox County up toward Victoria by 5:58, Toulon and Stark County by 6:14, Osceola now that we're getting into Bureau County, Osceola at about 6:23, Buda by about 6:33. So let's go ahead and we'll zoom in on this one, and we'll see if we can find anything that is standing out, kind of like our tornado that we have up north that's around Charlotte right now. So as we get a bit closer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just what Kyle did on that last one. First of all, let me get that line off the screen. I got to zoom. There we go. Looks like we'll be able to zoom now. Yep. And as we take this a little bit closer, yeah, the zoom, we'll have to look at the zoom aspect ratio. It's not quite working the way it should today, but as we look at any potential debris, yeah, we've got right south of Henderson. You can see that little change. It goes from light to dark north of Galesburg up toward Henderson. So there could be some debris right over a highway or Interstate 74. There's 67 coming on down. So if you're on Interstate 74 north or south of Galesburg, you want to stop or tell people that you know to stop if you give them a call. Hands-free, of course. But there's that debris signature north of Galesburg in Knox County. That would be with our tornado. And as we go to our velocity or our storm movement to see where we might be seeing things, yeah, there you go. And again, at this point, it's kind of reversed because we're south of the radar site. So the greens and reds are a little bit reversed, but there's that circulation right there. And that is just heading south of Oneida, right along, let's see, 167. So let's get out a little bit farther here. there. And as we look at those eastern and northeastern portions of Knox County, again, you want to take your shelter if you are anywhere south of Highway 34 in Knox County toward Victoria. That looks to be where that circulation, that tornado, is working its way right now.
Can we go to Skyview right now?
Yeah.
Let's go to Skyview because I'm looking at an area. We're getting reports. Folks are saying, okay, we've got they're thinking that this might be a wall cloud. I'm not. I'm looking right at it here. And this is looking northwest. You can see the water tower there on the far right. That's up by Kimberly, up by the North Park Mall.
Yeah, that's Amazon in the far background.
Yeah, this is heading, it's moving northeast. You can see it here. There might be some very, very weak broad rotation with this, but it is not. It looks like this might be more of a damaging wind threat to me. But it's very ominous, obviously, and you can see that here. I'm going to kind of continue to move the camera. You see Brady Street down there, and we continue off to the north here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning that they put out for this particular storm here. 60-mile-an-hour winds are the concern. Tornado possible with it as well, so we continue to watch that. But here we are looking more westerly right now. Again, west from the station in downtown Davenport. Very ominous sky right now, and we're going to continue to watch these little areas here. While I'm not noticing anything tornadic at this point on radar or visually here by taking a look at Skyview, we want to continue to keep an eye on it. So there's that's that shelf cloud there. You can see that is moving right into the heart of the metro here, into the Iowa side, zooming things out, and you get a better perspective of what we're looking at here as this continues to move off to the northeast. But that is, yeah, you can see exactly, you can tell exactly where the heaviest rain is, right there, dead center on that picture, moving into northwest Davenport at this time.
And we've just a few moments ago, 65-mile-per-hour winds as we come and look at the radar and the winds at the base of the storm. This would be under that shelf cloud, and that's what we're looking at right here, where they're peaking in the blue. There you see we're up to about 65 miles per hour. By the way, the minus is meaning that it is approaching the radar site, and it's plus as it goes past.
I just want to mention that this debris signature is over Preston right now.
Okay, all right. So we've got, if you're in northwest Davenport, or along Interstate 280 all the way down Highway 6 to, let's just say, Welcome Way, be ready to take shelter. You should take shelter now because as fast as this is moving, it's going to be in those areas pretty quickly. But you saw what's coming your way underneath that shelf cloud. That's where you get the strong winds that pop that shelf cloud up and get kind of undercut the warm, humid air. So with those winds at about 65 miles per hour from time to time, well, broadly 65 miles per hour, there you see it again. Every now and then it might hit a pixel that's bad data, and it takes it down. But this is going to be coming through northwest Davenport, say along and north of Kimberly Road especially. And as we move back off to the south, you can see a few more storms trailing through Henry County, Iowa. But that could be really the end of this line as it dips into northeastern Missouri. But we do want to get back to our storm that we're looking at up to Preston, toward Preston, and we'll zoom into that because, again, this is a very strong storm with some very intense rotation right around the Preston area. And there's our hail core that's kind of associated with that tornado. And as we take a look at the way the air is spinning, there you see we're dropping back a little bit farther south here so we can get all of this in view. You can see that, yeah, we've got right around Preston that very intense rotation. That is going to be going right through Preston, probably going right through Preston now because at the speed of these storms, as fast as these are moving, yeah, you can see that the radar, the new radar scan just put this even farther to the east. So as we look ahead and find where that circulation is, maybe not that far east, there you go, right about here now, just north of Highway 64. It's already passed through Preston, so it's into rural portions of Jackson County, north of Highway 64, south of Highway 52. And again, there it is right there, that area of circulation, that tornado. So let's get in and see what we can do for streets down here as we, again, try to keep you ahead of the storm. Green Island, this just west of the Mississippi along the River Road there. You can see that circulation is approaching 75th Avenue, 500th Avenue, 475th Avenue. If you're in those areas, especially around and south of Green Island, you should be taking shelter now as we move this toward portions of extreme eastern, southeastern Jackson County. Again, kind of trying to lead you here because there's the circulation coming this way. It's crossing 500th Avenue. It'll be at 550th Avenue, 84th Street, Sterling, Iowa, or the old former township of Sterling, Iowa. There's the Mississippi River there. So this is really in that very southeast portion, that little corner of Jackson County. If you're in these areas, Green Island points south to the Clinton County line. You do want to take shelter now.
Okay, back to Skyview because very impressive here. I continue to watch this, and I do think that we actually have some rotation here. Eric, I'm going to let you be the judge of that. So if we could pull up Skyview, right dead center on that picture, very ominous looking shelf cloud there. But right there,
yeah,
there
you
is
see some movement.
Yeah, we do see some movement. I had a viewer that sent this in just a moment ago, and I'm seeing it right here. Look at Northwest Boulevard.
Okay, we're looking north though right now because there's the dome. And that means that rain shield is already between, say, 53rd Street and the airport.
Yeah, okay. Sirens are sounding here in Davenport. Folks, you need to take it. Look at this. So let's come back out here real quick. What I'm noticing here, I'm going to zoom into that, and then we'll go back to that picture. If we could do a double box, too, of Skyview and me out here, that would be great as well. I'm noticing this is Northwest Boulevard. Here's the radar right here. And the Weather Service has a very good lock on this because they're right there. They're watching it. But right here, there is some broad rotation right over Hillendale Road. Here is North Division Street right here. Here's I-80. This is going to cross I-80, so there is that I-80 cam up on Northwest Boulevard. Don't think we're going to see much out of it because it is usually tilted down to the ground, but we'll keep an eye on that. But there is some broad circulation or in that area, rather, and so that continues on. I'm just because we've got a good pin on that, I'm going to put a track on that and kind of give you an idea of where it's going, who it's going to impact, and here you go. North High School, about 5:54. The power plant at 5:56. Neil Armstrong School getting up towards the top of the hour, and then 6 p.m. we're talking Hopewell Elementary School is in that. Again, it's a loose rotation. It's not very well defined, but it is something that we have to keep a very close eye on as we do continue to we continue to be in that environment here that is conducive for tornadic activity. So we're watching that very closely. Backing things up here and going to check on what we've got still going on. We got a new update on that tornado warning. That circulation has weakened a little bit, but we're going to continue to watch that. Again, if you're in the metro, damage is being reported in Preston right now. And that is coming into the newsroom here. That damage is being reported in Preston. So dangerous situation up there, folks. Here in the metro, and a lot of folks are concerned about what's going on. I'm going to center up radar and kind of stop things. Let's take a look at what's happening up on Northwest Boulevard and see. And whenever we get that up, just let me know.
Yeah, buildings, trees, and wires down in Preston. So. Wow. Might be a long night for power outages.
Yeah, so slow moving here, folks, as this storm is now crossing over the I-80. Let's go back. If we come back out here, I can take a quick look here. We'll talk about this momentarily, and then we're going to get back up to that very serious situation up into Jackson County as we continue with that tornado warning. Here in the metro, 60-mile-an-hour winds. It is marked tornado possible, so they did add that. And they did add that tag to it, quarter-sized hail here in the metro. Sirens are sounding. You should take your precautions now. There's not anything that looks to be close to being on the ground or threatening to be on the ground, but if you're in the northern part of the metro, being in your tornado safe spots, not a bad idea. Otherwise, heavy rainfall, some gusty winds are going to be likely with this as it continues off to the northeast. I do want to mention, too, this tornadic storm here in Knox County. We did get an extension of that warning, also into Stark County. I know we do have some viewers out there. Eric, you've got some new information.
Yeah, I want to take you to that Preston tornado where we just had reports through the Weather Service of buildings damaged, also trees and power lines down. Hopefully that won't affect you because, of course, if you owe power, who knows when it's going to come on back. But let's take a look at where this is going to be moving. Again, we have that level 3 overall risk for severe weather. We are in the middle of it right now. And as we take a look at that storm, I just lost it, but I do want to get back to it because we're going to do a little bit of a time on this and get it across the river because the warning was just updated a little bit. Let's see, that's not what I want to do. They throw it to me and I mess up this whole thing. But here we go. We'll get a little bit closer. The storm's moving at about 45 miles per hour to the east-northeast. So there's the circulation right there. It's again, this is southeast Jackson County, Iowa. The warning was just amended a bit to get that back edge closer to Preston. So as we have a forward speed on this of 45 miles per hour, what we'll do is take this out and give you the estimated time of arrival for where you live. We'll take it to Savannah at about 6:08, Lauren at about 6:32, the Cherry Grove Shannon area, that's up in northeast Carroll County, about 6:39. But really for Savannah at about 6, I would say, as fast as these are moving, you could even bump that up to about 6 o'clock. Sebula as well. You need to take your shelter as this tornado makes its way toward the Mississippi River, crosses the river right around Sebula, heads very close towards Savannah. So by around 6 o'clock, you should be in your shelter, and that's just a few minutes away. Again, even at 45 miles per hour, this is going to make steady progress toward the Mississippi River if you are in those areas. Again, unfortunately, we've had some damage in Preston as we try to find out where the debris is with this storm. We might see a little bit of a debris signature, although this is getting a little bit far away from the radar site. But boy, there it is right there, right along 52. That's probably in the Green Island area. As a matter of fact, I'm going to zoom into that because that's actually, for being that far from the radar site, that gives us some pretty good visibility about where it's going and where it's headed next. So at this rate, it looks like it's going to be well north of Savannah, which is right down here. This will probably perhaps get toward the depot, but as we continue to see that move just south of Green, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, that's at 500th Avenue and Highway 52. Boy, wow. Some parts of that 52 area have a lot of bluffs and some tall trees. Wonder if we're going to see any damage from that. But again, as we back this out a little bit, I'll come out so we can show you where this is going to track. But again, it's moving right through the southeastern portion of Jackson County as our tornado warning continues. This far, again, this far away from the radar site, that is a really impressive debris signature. There's the county line between Carroll County and Joe Davis County. There you go up 84. You go through that winding road. It comes back from the river, goes through Hanover, and then you see Joe Davis County there. Our circulation, boy, in the last radar scan, it just kind of came off the map. That's where it is now. So thankfully, that means it is weakening quite a bit. And as we pan a little farther, you can see the track. It was going through Preston up toward where it says 52 here, right on the highway, and then right on that yellow line. Boy, that thing collapsed fast. That's good news because that was a damaging circulation, and now it seems to be weakening quite a bit. So that's going to be north of Savannah, kind of halfway between Savannah and Hanover up in Joe Davis County.
Yeah, I'm continuing to watch that too and look at what you were looking at too. We've got a lot of folks looking or sending us pictures of this pretty impressive shelf cloud that's moving through the metro. We don't want to go away from this very serious situation that continues up there, but look at this. I've got this is our Bettendorf camera, and you can see this is the edge of the shelf cloud. You can see the winds. Once that we started to see the edge of that, the wind was really coming in, but you know, within this, yeah, you can see little weak rotations. Right now, I'm not noticing anything too significant with that, but it is worth watching and keeping a close eye on here. And you can see right specifically there. This is up on 53rd Street. Looking right now, I've got this pointed east from our camera on 53rd Street in Bettendorf there. So we're watching that. But back to radar and back to kind of we're going to take a broad view and give you an idea of what's going on where, because we do have a lot happening that continues. And again, this whole line is severe at this point. So right now, just north of Clinton, we've got that tornado warning that continues here for Jackson County, Clinton County. It is now radar indicated, but we have reports of damage. It was on the ground, so that continues on. Pretty serious situation there, I know. We're going to continue to get reports and get crews out there on that. Galesburg, northeast of you, Knox County, Stark County. And I did, for the folks in the booth, we do have a video that was taken from a viewer near Oneida that we can show here momentarily that is in the Teams chat. So let me know when that's up. We continue with the severe thunderstorm warnings, though, here into Rock Island County, Whiteside County, all of Whiteside County, Scott County, but I would say Scott County, the threat is now a little bit further to your east and almost exclusively in our Illinois counties. And there you go, that warning was dropped. But Whiteside County, Henry County, and then we're going to be watching the storm as it makes its way into parts of Henry County, southeastern Henry County, and into Bureau County. And it is 6 o'clock here, folks. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm meteorologist Kyle Dickens, along with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland. You're watching KWQC TV6 here in Davenport, Iowa. We continue with our tornado warnings and severe weather coverage here into the 6 o'clock hour. So we're continuing to watch these storms. But if you're in Bureau County, Henry County, southeastern Henry County, heads up, first alert. We're going to have some pretty nasty storms here moving in momentarily. And we've got some new warnings just got issued here too, Eric.
Okay, yeah, let's go through the times because we don't want you to lose sight of these. This tornado warning extended now to northern Stark County. Might eventually be an issue for extreme southern Bureau County. But as we take a look at the information from this tornado warning, well, did it again. Yes, we have this level 3 severe weather outlook, which continues across the whole area. But as we go ahead and zoom on into that warning that I was just talking about right here, this is getting now finally out of Knox County, but still in extreme northeastern Knox County. Still a bit of a hail core, and that will continue to track through northern Stark County. There you see Tulane right there. So as we then take a look at the details on this particular tornado warning, as Kyle mentioned moments ago, it is now 6 o'clock. This will go till 6:30, this particular warning. So this storm still has to get through northern Stark County before it affects that southern appendage of Bureau County, as you can see right there. Okay, so as we move on up a little bit, what we'll do is come on out and we will take a look then at the severe thunderstorm warning that includes portions of the Metro Quad Cities. And this is one that includes a lot of area. As a matter of fact, we're starting to add to it, but we do have now this area of severe thunderstorms. And this warning in particular that is for the Metro Quad Cities. We jumped north, though, a little bit because the tornado warning came on screen. So still till 6:15, that's just about 15 minutes away, a tornado warning for Carroll, Clinton, and Jackson County. That is the warning that encompassed that tornado that did some damage near Preston. Maybe more areas than that, but it seems to have quickly dissipated as it crossed the Mississippi River. Now let's take a look at our severe thunderstorm warning. Again, back here, this one includes the Metro Quad Cities. And that's the line that we've been tracking, especially in the western metro, where we're seeing our shelf cloud and getting some very strong winds. Now, say the whole western half of Davenport probably got that blast of 50-plus mile-per-hour winds. As a matter of fact, as Sharon DeReek pointed out, the National Weather Service mentioned that they had a wind gust of 56 miles per hour. So that's right up near that 60-mile-per-hour threshold. We've got this warning till 6:30, so that's about 25, 28 more minutes. Clinton, Henry, Rock Island, Scott County, and again, tornado possible along that line. Right now, we're starting to get this right over the station. You see that heavy rain in red? Mm-hmm. We're right about there, and we can now hear it on our rooftops. So as we back on out now, and I can take you a little bit farther east and north, we'll take a look at the storm warnings that are now in for portions of Illinois and the Illinois Quad Cities under these particular severe thunderstorm watches. Should come up here in just a moment. Carroll, Clinton, Jackson, we talked about that one. We'll move over because this one that's getting toward the eastern edge of our viewing area still has some very large hail right around Sterling. That's outside of our viewing area, but again, through Sterling. If you're in Sterling Rock Falls, while we're here, I might as well just zoom in and show you that that hail core is moving right towards Sterling Rock Falls. There's Interstate 88, there's Highway 30, there's Sterling Rock Falls. That hail core with lots of lightning just about to get on top of you folks. So make sure that you are taking shelter. We'll take a look back here as we zoom on out and move north and get a look at the warnings that are a little bit farther to the north. In our Illinois viewing area. And again, this is going to encompass that tornado warning that you can see here showing up in western portions of Carroll County. But again, it looked like the last time we checked that debris signature was starting to go away. And there you saw it kind of right there. It was right here, but it's gone away. So maybe there's not a lot to worry about with that storm at this point, but we'll continue to track it as we throw radar back on the screen and we come out a little bit. Then we can go to our northern viewing area, because certainly now other parts to the north are starting to be affected by some of these storms. Let me get the radar back. A new warning do we have?
Yeah, yes, we do have a new warning. They're taking this Joe Davies County, kind of that northern extent. They're going severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible with that. Spin-up tornadoes continue to be a concern. What we have to watch, though, is this is Sterling Rock Falls, your northeastern Whiteside County. I'm concerned why Sterling and Rock Falls both get ready for some hail. You're going to be experiencing some hail, maybe up to the size of quarters here, but also some damaging wind potential. This is in an area that we have to watch because, again, we could see a little bit better tornadic activity, a little bit better ingredients for tornadic activity, I should say, within this area. But the Emerson Road area right now, that hail core is over top of that area. Here's downtown Sterling, Sterling proper, Rock Falls, just to your northwest. That hail's going to go. But if you're in northwestern parts of Sterling, heads up, because that will be impacting you. But I do want to look at the rotation, because there's a weak rotation on the northwest side of Sterling right now. So we're going to continue to watch that. It's right now near the Emerson Road and Street area down to north of I-88, but there is a coupling of the winds right there, again, northwestern side of Sterling. So heads up there. We're going to continue to watch that. That continues to move off to the northeast, booking it pretty quickly. So we'll watch that. But also within the core of this, look at these winds. And we're getting some damaging winds with this, maybe up to 70 miles an hour. So radar is sampling that and could be some pretty significant winds, not to mention that possibility just northwest of Sterling there, where we could see maybe a little bit of a circulation happening. We're going to be continuing to watch that very closely. It will be into Lee County, Illinois momentarily. There goes a warning, new warning, Carroll, Joe Davies, Stevenson, and Whiteside County. And then they issued a new warning out into Lee County, Illinois. So we'll be watching that very closely. But yeah, Eric, also real quick before we toss it back to you,
sure.
I'm still watching the storm in Stark County, and I want you folks in Bureau County, the southern part of Bureau County, from Princeton to Tisquoia, Bureau Junction. This is your first alert, because if this thing continues on, it's going to be a tornado warning that will get issued here into Bureau County here within the next 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we do want to go up to Joe Davis County here. You see that warning that's still 7. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds with hail up to 1 inch in diameter. And as we take a look at what's happening with this line in particular, some strong winds. And again, tornado possible because right along the leading edge here, which is now screaming into eastern Joe Davis County towards Stockton, anywhere around these leading edges, we could get those spin-up tornadoes. But as far as the winds are concerned, I do want to show that we did have some winds peaking there. You can see where that orange now is, that bright orange heading towards Stockton. So we'll try and get a measurement on that in terms of the winds. 72 miles per hour, our radar measuring. That's a long way from the radar, so that might not be completely accurate. But boy, that's still anywhere between 50 and 70 miles per hour for the winds that are on the leading edge of this storm that are now really literally just screaming into portions of eastern Joe Davies County. Now, as we drop a little bit farther south into Carroll County and see what this storm is doing, again, right now just east of and through Savannah and just east of Savannah, another area here where we've got some very strong winds. And this is going to go right through northern Carroll County. So let's take a look at this area here. We'll query that and get an idea of how fast those winds are going. And as you'll see pop up on the screen here, hopefully momentarily, about 50 miles per hour. So again, along the leading edge of these thunderstorms, which we have that tornado possible thunderstorm warning for. We've got the very strong winds now. It's registering mid-60s. So anywhere between, say, 50 to 55 on the low end, 65 to 70 miles per hour on the high end, as these storms still have a long way to go as they make their way through Carroll County. And there's what's left of our tornado warning, but we really haven't seen much of anything from that lately. However, now that we have this on the map, we'll take a look and see if we can get any circulation to show up, and we don't really see much. It looks like that circulation really broke down. It's crossed the Mississippi now, and if there's any kind of circulation, it's very broad from Sebula to Savannah, but I'm not really concerned about it. It looks like it's really come down in intensity. So back to our radar, just to give you an idea of what we've got going on in general, very heavy rain. We've got these hail cores, and as I move down a little bit farther south, we'll take a look at that hail core that is right there over Sterling and get an idea of just how fast, or I should say how those particular hailstones are creeping up in terms of size, and we'll query this. And it doesn't look like at this point it's anything too bad, but again, these hail cores, they strengthen, they weaken, they strengthen. Right now we're at penny-size hail just to the east of Prophetstown here, probably penny-size hail, pea-size hail here. So smaller hail, most definitely, but as we take a look then at the rest of this whole situation, and again, we've still got some warnings here to get through as we finish off the evening. But yeah, this line of severe thunderstorms moving through the eastern portion of the area, and this is the one that started in west central Illinois, and this is what's left of those very strong storms that really started south of Iowa City toward Ottumwa and back towards south central Iowa. So these continue to move east. They're lining up with the Mississippi River right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings from any county along and north of Interstate 80. Those warnings continue, and then we still have our severe thunderstorm warning now for southern Knox County as that line continues to move to the east. And with that, for Stark County, a tornado warning. I think that goes till 6:30, but for now, we'll continue to watch that as those storms try to make their way into the southern portion of Bureau County, south of I-80. And again, just starting to get farther out of our viewing area now that we're getting southeast of Galesburg. Still, if you're in south central Knox County and you're watching us, severe thunderstorm warning, lots of wind and heavy rain with those storms. So you should be in your shelter.
Here we go. Yeah, with this, we were talking about that Stark County storm, and I was just looking at this this rotation, which is very notable, and we're actually getting at times what is known as a tornado vortex signature being indicated with this right in this area here. So very textbook circulation, but watch what it's doing here. It's got a very northeasterly track. And so we continue, and it kind of tucked a little bit more to the north. And so what we're going to do with that, I'm going to take that where we know that is, and we're going to head off to the northeast on that continued path and course here, maybe just a little bit further out. We'll get it up towards the Princeton area. We'll take a look at this. And so here is, if it continues as a tornadic storm on the current path and course it's on, it's going to be in the Elmira area here in a minute, right now actually. Osceola, about 6:15. Then it goes into Bureau County about 6:30. Buda, or just between 6:25 and 6:30. Then Wyanett, 6:34. Perry Memorial Hospital, or I think it's OSF now, 6:40. That's in Princeton. So 6:40 for you is when we would expect that. I do believe, based off of what we're seeing here, that we would continue with that tornado warning. I think that right here we've got that circulation right over top of Elmira, just southeast of Wethersfield. New update there, Osceola. Right there, we still have that circulation, wind moving towards the radar, away from the radar in the red there. And so right over Illinois 93, here's Kentville Road. It's approaching the Kentville Road area. So we'll be getting either a severe thunderstorm warning or a new tornado warning here momentarily, and maybe even a developing circulation too. Look at that near Toulon. So maybe a couple areas within this whole complex of storms that could be rotating. So we'll take a look at here at how heavy the rain is and where the rain and hail is. And you can see that, yeah, that area here just northwest of Toulon might be a developing circulation there. I think as the storm kind of evolves and congeals a little bit, I think just northwest of Toulon. And here's the deal, folks. We haven't seen much activity out in this area. So right now, temperatures in Kewanee at 71 degrees, 71 in Princeton. Compare that to 59 rain-cooled degrees in Davenport, 63 Muscatine. So as these storms continue on to the northeast, this is in an untapped environment, and there's literally nothing to their southeast here. So they're unimpeded. They've got all the environment to themselves. Those are the ones that we watch for that potential for tornadic activity. Also continuing to watch these storms here into Whiteside County, and this circulation here east of Prophetstown, albeit broad, is something that we need to watch. A new tornado warning got issued here. Let's see where this one's going to be for. Okay.
Looks like it's just outside of Whiteside.
Oh, just outside.
Yeah.
And that was that one that I was just talking about here.
Yeah.
That was
that circulation.
Yeah, that circulation near Sterling. Yeah, so Dixon, Illinois. Here's Dixon, Illinois. Sterling, this was that storm. This was right over top of you just moments ago. We were talking about that. And now into Lee County. I know we've got viewers out there in Lee County, Illinois. This is your first alert. You need to take shelter now. Ogle County as well. Heading up towards the Oregon area. Franklin Grove just to your northwest. But right near Dixon, if you're in Dixon, Illinois, take your immediate tornado precautions. This is a tornado warning for you. So very strong indication of circulation there. Just northeast of Sterling. Again, that was right over top of town, and we would notice that it was evolving, and that's why we warned you about that as it was moving through town. Right now, it's off into Lee County, Illinois, Ogle County, northwest of Dixon there. It will impact the northwestern portions of Dixon, and a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning for Bureau County. So they're not going to go tornado warning quite yet. We'll see if this evolves. But if you're in Bureau County, Putnam County, this is until 7 p.m. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning tag, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and a tornado possible with that as well.
All right, well, let's do our radar roundup here. We'll start to the north, we'll move to the south, and we'll take a look at all the storms that we have that are going on right now and all the active warnings. Let me pan this a little bit farther over so we can get everyone into view here. We'll start off to the north, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for much of Joe Daviess County. But as you can see, the line of storms now making its way off to the east. So shortly, it won't be much of a concern, just leaving a little bit of heavy rain there in its wake as I want to get this back a little bit farther to the west. There we go. All right, and I'll move down toward, let's see, let's get into Carroll County here. Still a lot of real estate in Carroll County to get through. It's this line of storms right here that's making its way east. But again, remember, when we talk about the bowing out, that backward C, that means that on the leading edge of these storms, we could be looking at some pretty strong winds. So as we take a look at the speed of those winds, yeah, right there, right along that line of thunderstorms, it's kind of moving in the northwestern portion of the county back to the east and southeast. We do have some very strong winds, and we'll take a look at just how strong those winds are. This is going to come out, okay, 47 miles per hour. That might be a bad pixel. I'm sure these are a little higher, so we might be topping 50 miles per hour with some of those wind speeds.
Tornado warning.
And new tornado warning for?
Yep. That is going to be for, we're going to go back to Knox County. I want to mention,
okay,
though, that tornado warning that we had for Lee County, Illinois. There's a confirmed tornado on the ground. It looks like in the Dixon, Illinois area right now. They've got a confirmed tornado. We've got debris being picked up on radar as well. So this is, again, just outside the viewing area, but I know a lot of folks in Sterling Rock Falls. We're very familiar with this area, and so you know people, and some folks in Dixon do watch us. So heads up, there's a confirmed tornado in Lee County, Illinois. Back to Knox County, where we have a new tornado warning. And, oh, yeah, this is a very southeastern portion of Knox County. Here's Peoria County. Here's I-74. Circulation from Mequon. Just outside of Mequon is where we have that circulation. But it is a little bit more broad than the
1630 KCJJ. Since the severe weather is fully in Illinois now, I am going to take this time to officially close severe weather coverage for today, at least. Might have some tomorrow, hopefully not. But I am going to start the Mike O'Mara Show. Good luck, Knox County, Illinois. That's where I went to college, at Knox College. But they got it covered out there. So, thanks for listening to severe weather coverage today. Hopefully, my voice will be better tomorrow. We'll see. And you're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ, your official weather station.
Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Well, what have we here?
It's a podcast.
Fine.
And what excitement we have today.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Nothing like coming right on this show and getting a nurse's update from my kid's school. But he's okay. Yes. He's 12. He's always okay. He's always going to be okay. Good morning. I have Michael here crying. He said he was reaching for something on the ground and hurt something in his knee. I have ice on it now, and I'm having him rest for a little while. Am I okay to give him an Advil to help with the pain? I said, yes, please. Thanks. He said he can put weight on it. Well, thank God for that.
Were you a big school nurse?
attendee as a kid?
Hell no.
No? I had a bad run.
My son ought to have his mail sent there.